Oh, what a dick. What a dick move by Dana. Did you guys see this? And you have to wonder when you see things in MMA anymore, anything on the internet, you have to wonder, hey, did that really happen? But this is from Jed. Jed Goodman would not put this out without having seen it himself. He just won it. So I'm confident in telling you this did it. Listen to what Dana did. Oh! Dana White speaking. Are you ready? Here's the quote. I got something in the works right now. I'm going to drive you effers crazy. Talking to the media. He's at a press conference talking to the media. All you guys will be running around. I got something in the works that you will never see coming for 2025. And it literally started coming together last night. Okay, what could it be? What could it be? If that's not the biggest tease that he's ever done, which, by the way, he doesn't do. If you follow the timeline of Dana White, and you go back to 2001, I mean, you gotta understand, 2025 Dana would kick 2009 Dana out of the office. I mean, it's very different. Like, as the sport has evolved and changed, and the business has evolved and changed. But he's not stuck in his ways. He evolves and changes with it. It's relevant that you understand this, because when TKO took over ownership of the UFC, Dana went, if I was to ask you guys right now, hey, for $1 million, what's Dana's title? You'd be so thrilled that you had $1 million and you would say president. You're actually wrong. He's now the CEO. And it does matter. The way that you speak when you take on that title in a public company, like the days of having fun, the days of throwing something out there. It was a great place to market. It's a great, you get a little bit of an idea. Guys, this is going to be gross. Nobody likes to talk about money. I charge $10,000 and get it daily to put certain thumbnails on my YouTube channel. And then promoters and sponsors and people in the business will look to see how that did. Not only am I audited, it's publicly audited to know if they should go put $10 million behind an idea or if you guys hate it right off the bat. And I know that's gross. I'm sorry, but I'm sharing for you. You can't necessarily, it's a great way to do things is to throw something out there and see, hey, what is the audience like? And, see what comes back to you. It's just not really something that, it just can't really be done anymore. Not like it used to be. Not when it comes from him. You could have someone else do it. But I'm just sharing. I want to start with that because I want you to understand. He's not kidding. This is not looking for clicks. He's sitting on something. What? What could it be? What could we be owed, by the way, 2 weeks after we're told there's going to be a card at the White House? Just for example, like, what could your news be? If you don't keep the White House card a secret, just for example, what could it be? 5 days after announcing the first title defense of Tom Aspinall, just for example. What could it be when you're sitting on a card, which is who is Ilia Topuria going to face next? Gaethje, Sarukian, or Paddy the Baddy? By the way, the answer is Sarukian. But you still haven't revealed that to the world. What could it be? And by the way, it's going to be in 2025. That doesn't give you a lot of time. Well, what's the average fight? What is it, guys? I don't actually know the number. Is it about 8 weeks? Is it about 10 weeks? We just found out that, here, let's just do the math. It was Wednesday of last week we found out that Alex Pierre will be fighting Ankalaev in October. And I believe that's October 19th. So here we are. We got July to August to September. That 3 months, 12 weeks. But if you're to go off of the 12 weeks, and then you realize how many of those weeks are left in 2025, like, we're going to be getting an announcement soon. What could it be? And I really do want you to guess. And don't be a scumbag. Don't be a scumbag. Give me something that's real. Here, let me go first. An ace that the UFC has been sitting on, and that we all assumed would get played at one point. And even though the talk is down, the talk has to be down to match the criteria that Dana laid out, which is we never see it coming. Never see it coming isn't an exciting piece of news. It's got to be one that you couldn't, right? If you go and look at the rankings at 170 and then you start doing the matches, or you look at 185 and you start doing the matches, that you could assume that. He says you'll never see this coming. Now, I don't believe for you that I'm right. I'm just going to get us started because I want to see your comments. And the best guess is I'm going to come back on and I'm going to read them. And one of you smart suckers is going to get it right, by the way. Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3. You would never see that coming. And see, the UFC has this massive card called Nate Diaz. And they haven't played it, but they also haven't given us any evidence that they're about to. And I would just assume that will get played. I would assume if Conor came back, and there's not very many people that can get a fight that is actually big news. It's interesting, and I'll come over here and talk to you guys about it, and we'll go back and forth, but the little old lady in Iowa doesn't care. That's a TV expression for who you're going to reach. They're going to go write a book. Go, who's the book for? They go, it's for everybody. Okay, is it for a little old lady in Iowa? Well, no, not her. Well, okay, but then it's not for everybody. So this is like an expression. The little old lady in Iowa is an expression for mainstream. And you only got one guy, which is Conor. So does it even have to be fight news? Does it even have to be fight news? Probably not, but it's tough to be venue news. When you played Sphere, you regularly play Madison Square Garden, you played the O2 Arena a number of times, and you're getting ready to play the White House. Like, it'd be hard. I believe it would have to be a matchup. And if you're going to bring Conor back, you are in a very tough position with who are you going to put him against. And you're in that position because he in no way would qualify for a title fight. But you're going to put him at the end of the night. Do you see the problem? You're going to put him as your main event. So you're going to put a guy in a 5-round atmosphere. And that's tough right there, because who are you going to put him against? Not only can it not be for a title, it can't even be for a contendership. In fact, as you start working through the weeds of Conor McGregor, just with Conor's own words, we don't even have a weight class. When Conor and Chandler was announced, it was this incredible thing. Because you had the UFC state a weight class, you had Chandler state a weight class, and you had Conor state a weight class. And the three of them did not speak. Now, Conor, we assumed, was in jest when he said 185 pounds. Chandler assured us it was going to be at 170, which made a lot of sense. And the UFC threw out 155 because that's the division that they both generally compete. Like, there was a reason that they weren't on the same page, but it took 4 months to get that question answered. For 4 months, the three entities involved did not agree on the weight class. I remember being the first to come to you guys and say, hey, we don't have a fight, and we're not going to have a fight. And I told you, the very first thing that a fighter will check, the very first thing, it's before the money. It's before the date. He never cares about the venue, though he will ask, where is it going to be? He doesn't actually care. He will just ask. The number one thing that he will ask and does care about, what do I got to weigh? So, I have all of this in mind because if you're going to do a Conor fight, there's a lot that goes into it. How do you get to a main event? So you don't matter, but you're a huge star, you're in the main event, but now we need to have an opponent that also doesn't matter. in terms of he's trying to climb, he's trying to be ranked, he's trying to win a world championship. You've got to have an opponent that's fighting for other things, and there's not a lot of guys like that. But Nate and Conor is the one trilogy that we were told at one point we would get. We were promised, in fact. In fact, it was stated, even if all those years ago, and I remember it very clearly, the reason I'm not going to make the trilogy now is I don't have to. That fight will always work. That's a quote. It's a quote that I remember all these years later. So if we're going to make guesses, what's going on? What would you never see coming? Feel free to go in a different direction, guys. Maybe it is venue-based. Maybe it's programming-based. But I think that it's matchup-based. And I'll go first. Diaz-McGregor, Part 3.